This week is my 4-year Bariversary, so we are doing our annual Q&A and a little something extra, but you have to stick around to the end of the video to find out what that is. I posted a little Q&A question box here on YouTube, but also over on Instagram, so today I will be answering your questions about bariatric world. Want to see if your questions got answered? Stay tuned. And if you are looking for even more weight loss surgery content, travel content, Disney magic, mamahood, holidays, celebrations, fashion, makeup, skincare, we've got you covered. You should be subscribed here. It's a really fun, supportive community, which you can see in the comments section. So join us. Could that be your gift to me 4 years post-op? If you are brand spanking new here, hi and welcome. I'm Chelsea, I'm 38, I'm an Aries, and I am a VSG patient. I had my gastric sleeve 4 years ago in July of 2019. Since then, I have managed to maintain an almost 100-pound weight loss. We're still working toward that 100-pound goal, and I am now a bariatric surgery coach for pre- and post-op clients. Without further ado, let's get to your questions. I will put the question box up on the screen here, but I'm going to be reading them off my phone as well. Question number 1. Have you ever experienced any reflux before or after surgery? If so, how have you managed this, and has it eased or increased over time? Have you continued to engage with a dietitian? Luckily, I never experienced acid reflux pre-surgery. I never suffered through heartburn, but post-op, one of the immediate medications that they put you on, which is really standard, is for the prevention of acid reflux. And I didn't have frequent bouts of this post-op. I did have it from time to time, especially early on, but it was nothing that stands out as being particularly painful, and then it eased over time. Something I found for me that worked then and still works now to encourage digestion is to move after I eat. I have worked with and know other weight loss surgery clients who suffered quite aggressively with reflux post-op, but that's also because there was a history of it pre-op, and one of the things that they use to combat that, ice packs on the chest, as well as sleeping in a vertical position if you can, like in a seated position. But know that this should ease over time. I do still see my nutritionist annually as a part of my clinic's 5-year post-op plan. She is also on my fail plan, which is something we'll talk about later in this video, but it is a document I made for myself. This far out of surgery, I use her as a checkpoint, but I know what I need to do, so I don't usually seek new advice from her. Do you have any mental struggles about food, like not being able to eat the way you used to, or have you adjusted? Oh girl, yes, unequivocally 100% yes. I was just talking to one of my lovely clients about this exact topic. While no food in my life is off limits, because I had this surgery to not live a restrictive lifestyle. And there's a caveat here: when you are in the first 3 stages post-op of clear liquids, liquids only, mush food, yes, that's restrictive. But I'm talking like 6 to 12 months out of surgery, no food is off limits. However, there are 2 specific times where I see my old habits just pop back up, even though it's been 4 years. Vacations and holidays. Typically, my issue is that I want more than what I can physically put in my body. Friends, this is all about FOMO. It's where food is the central focus, and I don't want to miss out on things that I don't normally get to have at home. Next month, we are headed to the magic of Disney World during the fieriest of months in the summertime, and then we're spending a week on a Disney cruise. So please make sure you're subscribed here, because I will definitely be doing like bariatric world what does this look like, what I eat in a day at the Food and Wine Festival, which will be open in Epcot when we go. Also, what I eat in a day on a cruise ship, because that's just a straight up buffet for 24 hours. And Mark and I also have reservations at Remy on the cruise ship, and that is a multi-course fancy meal. So there will be at least 3 food-related post-op videos coming your way. I will link the one that I did last year when we went to Bermuda. That was my first cruise post-op. I'll leave that here for you because I think that gives you an idea as to what I can eat, but also what does it look like to live a vacation lifestyle when your stomach is the size of a cheese stick. On a regular day, I do feel like I've adjusted to my portion sizes and I don't feel that mental struggle kick in. I remember that one of my biggest hurdles post-op was not being able to binge eat. I was a big eat my feelings kind of gal, particularly around fast food and secretly eating, blackout eating. Post-op, you can't do that. So I had to learn what were my new coping mechanisms going to be when I felt angry, sad, frustrated, tired, and I couldn't turn to the comfort of food. That was probably the hardest one to break. And it's something we talk about a lot in my coaching sessions with clients. Now, my practice is to enjoy the bites that I get to take and make sure that it's quality over quantity. Such a relatable question. Question number 3. I'm 4 months post-op from RNY. I am finally at the point that I can eat half a cup of food in one sitting. It takes me about a half hour to do it, but I can. For someone that is 4 years out, how much can you eat? Are you able to eat a cup of food? That's where I'd like to be. First of all, congratulations, friend, on being 4 months post-op. I hope this is going well for you. It sounds like it is. I want you to be patient with yourself. I promise that when you can eat a whole cup of food, you will long for the days of only being able to consume half a cup at a time, because then it will just be you and your calorie deficit to battle weight loss for the rest of your life. To answer your question, yes. At 4 years, I can eat a cup of food at a time. For my main meals, that's around 4 to 5 ounces of protein each meal. I can sometimes even eat a whole sandwich by myself. Generally, lunch is my biggest portion of the day, and I'm glad it worked out that way because lunch is my favorite. Breakfast is still a protein shake, and generally dinner is just a smaller portion than lunch because I can't eat as much at dinner time. Honestly, I do not understand how the science of that works, where I can eat more in the middle of the day and less later. Like, my stomach size hasn't changed. Maybe it has something to do with things not being digested. I don't know. But in talking to a variety of weight loss surgery patients and clients, it seems like everybody has a preferred meal where they can actually eat more than at the other 2 meals. Keep in mind, it took me about 2 years to get to the place where I am now portion-wise. So again, be patient. Hey there, 7 months post-op right now. My question, did you ever find yourself getting off track or being too loose with your plan? If so, how did you rein it back in and get back on track? Hey Emily, it is so exciting to be 7 months out in your maintenance phase. This is so real, and the answer again is yes. I think it's really easy once you're in maintenance mode to slip up because those old habits just creep back in really slowly, almost to the point where you don't even notice them. And if that happens for too long over time, it can be really hard to regain control over your new lifestyle. I think the first step is recognition. Earlier in this video, I mentioned my fail plan. And I think the plan itself is basically the answer to your question. When I realized my fears about having the surgery, my main one, which I think is everybody's main one, is weight regain. I knew that I needed to do something to hold myself accountable. For decades, I have been really good at lying to myself about how much I ate in the day, how much water I had, how much I moved. So I needed an accountability tool to help me keep control during times when I would see the scale going in the direction that I would consider wrong, or at least not what's best for my body. I'm a teacher, a firstborn, an Aries, a type A human. So I needed a plan, like a written down Google Doc checklist plan. So that's exactly what I did. I made a contract for myself. In it, I outline the steps that I need to take once I do my weekly weigh-in, and I notice that the number isn't preferable. This is within a range. It's not one specific number. It's compared to the week before. I keep track of my weight on a weekly basis. If you're brand new to surgery, I would recommend 1 or 2 times a week. But then beyond that, it becomes a scale game and you're really associating your own success and happiness just by the number on the scale. And I believe very heavily in celebrating your non-scale victories. My fail plan is a 4 to 5 week process because doing everything all at once is overwhelming and it triggers me back into that diet disordered eating mindset. Remember those crash diets? Boy, were they not sustainable, and neither is a plan that forces you to do so many things all at once. So my plan, my get back on track plan, is actually around 4 to 5 weeks long. And it includes week 1, tracking my meals. I don't place judgment. I am simply observing and putting into the app Baritastic everything that I'm eating so that I can get a full picture of maybe where I am going astray. Because I know in my heart it's probably carbs, it's probably sugar, but I need the data to support that. So I don't make any changes while I'm tracking that week. I simply observe and track. Week 2, I make adjustments if necessary, and I add in around 30 ounces more of water a day. Again, this is not going to be attainable if you are within your first year of surgery. You physically can't put that much water in your body more than what you're already consuming. But I try to get in at least 3 liters during that second week to help with digestion and flush everything out, and to make sure that I'm actually rehydrating myself. Week 3 is about movement. I will add 10 to 15 minutes more of cardio into my movement every workout. And if I have to get to week 4, that's where I go find my support system. So whether that's through my clinic, additional coaches, an online community, my family, I seek out additional support, and that can include my nutritionist. And step 5 is actually calling my surgery site. I haven't made it to that step yet. Usually it is just steps 1, 2, and 3 that I need to go through before I see the scale return to where I want it to be. And recently I have actually been activating this plan because of my knee. I had an MRI, I have more news. Stay tuned for an upcoming video on that. It's a lot. We've reached the halfway point of this video. Thank you for asking such thoughtful questions. And if there are additional questions that you would like answered, please put them in the comments section, because I love doing Q&As because I feel like I'm actually engaging with things that you want to know. Let's carry on. I got my surgery a month ago and I'm scared to eat. Not because of pain, but I'm so scared to fail to not lose the weight. How did you feel and cope? Okay, sister. I'm gonna say this with love and respect. This, my girl, is disordered thinking. Because of all of our past diets that didn't work, our brains are programmed by default to tell us that we are the magical 0.01% that this surgery doesn't work for. But you don't have to listen to that thought. It's wrong, this thought. In fact, you cannot lose weight unless you feed your body properly, unless you actually eat. If you're eating too few calories, you're going to reach a stall more quickly because your body is going to cling to whatever nutrients you're giving it, and it's not going to release any muscle or any fat to help you lose weight. You have to feed yourself to help your body recognize that you are okay. And my goodness, if you don't eat, you're going to be so bald and so weak. I don't know, based on the question, the type of surgery you had or what food stage you're on, but I'm hoping by the time this video comes out, you're at least on mushy foods. which means that it's totally okay to be having 2 meals a day with protein shakes and 1 real protein meal. Please go for at least an ounce of protein at that real meal, if not more, okay? Please eat. Nourish your body. And remember that you do not have to go through this alone. Ooh, that was a heavy one. What do you do to overcome a plateau? Oh, the dreaded weight loss surgery stall. How real she is. These can happen at any stage, but tend to be more common at the front end of your post-op surgery, like within that first year. Sometimes these happen because you are not eating enough, and sometimes it's your body's way of adjusting to your new normal. It could be hormonally driven too. First thing I do is I look at how much protein am I actually getting, and this goes back to tracking. You need 60 grams of protein so that your organs can function. That's a minimum. I also look at my vitamins and my supplements to make sure that I'm getting everything I need. If I'm not, I make adjustments. If I am, I move on to water. Water is a full-time job post-op, right? I set additional alarms for myself. I also use my 310 Nutrition like hydration amplifiers in my water to try to make sure that I am boosting my hydration as much as I can. I've also even had clients go to an IV med spa because they'll give you a banana bag of hydration, but they'll also add in extra like beauty internal vitamin supplements to it. And I think that that's a really good alternative to necessarily the ER because of the bill. And then kind of like with my fail plan, I take a look at my movement. My goal within that first year was to hit 10,000 steps of walking every single day. This really helped my digestion and like pushed, in a gross way, my stalls along. A typical stall can last 2 to 3 weeks. Certainly ones have been longer. There are those that have been shorter, but that's kind of the average range. And I know that they're frustrating. Please trust me, I know that they are infuriating and frustrating, but also know that they are normal. You didn't break anything. This is a part of the process. When did you stop losing weight post-op? Oh, the saddest of times. Scale slows and it's back to being up to us to make sure that we're going in the direction of our healthiest futures. My weight loss started to slow around 9 months, but I still continued to lose through about 18 months. It was just much slower than the first 9. And then that was it. I hit my lowest weight and size, which was about a 4, and I was around 138 pounds. And since then, I've leveled out around a 6'8", and my weight ranges from like 145 to 155, depending on the season and my level of activity. I personally like the 145 end. I think that's where my body is happiest, and that is currently where I am working to get back to. It's just made additionally more challenging because of my knee injury. But I'm using my plan, I've changed my workouts, more to come on that. And our last question for today. Would you be willing to have a baby after your VSG? Would it mess it up? So I think this question is meant for someone who wants more than one child. And I knew during the time where Mark and I were like trying for a baby that we were a one and done kind of family. I actually think I've told you this story before, that my sister and I, who are 18 months apart, when I was working on getting pregnant and we were having some fertility issues, Mallory, my sister, and I decided to have a pregnancy pact. So my niece Zoe, who you have seen on here before, she and Callie are 4 months apart. And as we hoped it would be, they are both besties and sisters kind of all rolled into one. But to answer your question, no. Having a baby does not mess up your surgery as long as you are at least a year out past your surgery date and you work with your surgeon to make sure that they are aware of your goals to be pregnant. In fact, a lot of women have bariatric surgery with the goal of becoming pregnant because obesity and infertility are really closely linked. That was the case in my situation as well. So there was also a warning that after surgery, you are extra fertile if you are still ovulating. So I don't know why I put that in air quotes. But if you do not want to have any more children post-op, that you may want to take precautions in order to not have babies you don't want to have. The general science is the healthier your body, the healthier your cycle. This also includes periods, like that first period post-op. Wow, is she a doozy? In fact, I didn't have a period after Callie was born until surgery. And I remember getting a period and thinking like, yikes, I'm glad this is here because that means that my body is moving in a healthier direction, but I don't miss this part. And I also have an IUD to try to keep my heavier cycles easier. I hope that wasn't too much TMI for you. If you made it this far in the video, congratulations. Let me tell you about the Bariversary giveaway that I will be doing here on YouTube. So one of my favorite companies for my pre-workout, for my like boosting my metabolism supplements for hair, skin, and nails is Motivate. And they have kindly sent me so many things, and I have a drawer overflowing with amazing products from them, some of which I will never get to before their expiration. So I am going to be gifting some of these products to you. All you have to do to participate, you'll want to read the T's and C's in the description box below and get to see what the products are, but you just have to be subscribed here and leave a comment letting me know that you are interested in this giveaway. I feel like this is a little fun way for me to get to celebrate with you being 4 years post-op, because I know immediately after surgery, thinking like 4 or 5 years down the line seems so impossible as you're taking medicine cup-sized sips of things and just trying not to get sick. But you can do it. Life can be a new, beautiful, healthier normal for you, and I hope that's what you're finding here on this channel. Thank you so much for being here. For any and all parts of this journey, I wish you only the best. You know I love you. You don't have to go through this alone. You have me, we have each other. We can do this. I love you, friend, and I will see you next week in what is going to start the kickoff to my Disney vacation. Bye, everybody.